Are you struggling with making the double half hitch knot? Or maybe you're struggling with how you can make them nice, straight, and neat. If so, then you definitely don't want to miss out on these 5 tips on how you can master the double half hitch knot. Nicole here, and welcome to BOCHIKNOT Macrame. This is the channel where you will find all things macrame. We release a lot of DIY pattern tutorials and helpful tips and tricks videos just like this one you're watching right now. If you guys are keen on learning more macrame, or you just want to stay up to date on new tutorials you may be interested in, then make sure you click that subscribe button and then also give this video a big thumbs up. If you're struggling with the double half hitch knot, or you just want some pro tips on how you can make them faster and better, then you've come to the right place. In this video, I will be walking you through step by step on how to make the double half hitch knot, how to make it straight, and how to make them nice and neat. In my opinion, the double half hitch knot is the most important macrame knot out there. It is a super versatile knot and you can make so many different beautiful designs with it. And so mastering the double half hitch knot will definitely get you farther when it comes to macrame. Over the course of my own macrame journey, I know that I've made a lot of double half hitch knots, but today I've gathered my top 5 tips on how you can master the double half hitch knot. If you guys are interested in other beginner-friendly macrame resources, such as a downloadable 50 knots and sentence ebook, you guys can head on over to BOCHIKNOT.com for more details on how to download that. And with that said, let's get right into it.
The very first tip I wanted to go over in making straight double half hitch knots is to always follow the direction and lead of the anchor/filler cord. So when you're making double half hitch knots, there's always an anchor cord. So take the left cord that I'm holding here as an example. If I want to make a horizontal row of double half hitch knots, make sure to place it down horizontally where you want the direction of the double half hitch knots to go. Keeping your anchor cord straight on the direction you want to head towards, so say a diagonal row of double half hitch knots, always keeping the anchor cord straight and in the direction you want it to go will help ensure that the end result of your row of double half hitch knots is nice and straight. I will now walk you through how you can easily make a nice and neat double half hitch knot. Using the far left cord here as the anchor cord and then the cord next to it on the right as the first working cord, we're going to make a half hitch knot. I'm just going to quickly pause here because this part is important when making nice, even double half hitch knots. You should always remember to tighten the first half hitch knot too. A lot of the times when we're making double half hitch knots, we're trying to make them very quickly, and so you often forget about the first half hitch knot. So make sure that you tighten the first half hitch knot, pull on the working cord, before proceeding on to make the second half hitch knot to form this double half hitch knot. If we take a closer look at this first double half hitch knot we made, you can see that there shouldn't be one knot higher than the other or tighter than the other. You should see here that both half hitch knots are nice and even, which is exactly how we want it to look like. I'm going to continue on with the double half hitch knots here, following the direction of the anchor cord. You can already tell that we have a nice straight diagonal line of double half-hitch knots. And now we're going to bring the anchor cord over to the left side, and we're going to repeat the same thing, but this time heading towards the left. So we're using the same anchor cord heading over to the left, and then we're using the last working cord we had just used. This time, because we're going towards the left side, we're bringing the half-hitch knots through to the right side. This brings us to our third tip in making nice and neat double half-hitch knots, and that's to adjust the knots and pull on the anchor cord to tighten. You can do this after every double half-hitch knot you make by adjusting it, pulling on the anchor cords, or you can adjust it after every row is made. I do find it is easier to adjust the knots after every few knots, like I'm doing so now, by pulling on the working cords or the anchor cords, so that there's less likelihood of you having to restart the row again just because it ended up not looking like the way you had intended it to be. Now that we're done the row of diagonal double half-hitch knots to the left, I'm going to pull on that anchor cord to shift the double half-hitch knots together so that it forms a nice straight line. And it's the same thing if you have a horizontal row of double half-hitch knots too. Pull on the anchor cord ends on both sides so that the knots are nice and tight, which gives way to a nice, neat and straight line. If you're wanting to make several rows of double half-hitch knots but have equal spacing in between each of these double half-hitch knot rows, use a spacer. Now this can range from a dowel as a spacer or to a comb like the one I have here. It really depends on the amount of space that you want to leave. So if you find something with the right amount of space, then use that as the spacer. I'm using another separate anchor cord. I'm going to place it right underneath the comb, and then taking our first working cord, I'm going to make a double half-hitch knot right underneath the comb. If you are using a separate anchor cord, it does get tricky making that very first double half-hitch knot because you do find that the anchor cord continues shifting, so it's hard to hold it while making the double half-hitch knot. To make it easier, of course, you can tape or pin down that cord end on the left side so that it doesn't move. And so if you continue that row of double half-hitch knots all the way, you should be able to get a nice straight row of double half-hitch knots from left to right. with even spacing between the row of double half-hitch knots above and the row of double half-hitch knots we just made. And now this leads me to our final tip, and this is kind of a bonus tip. It's not really how to make a double half-hitch knot. If you are not satisfied with the row of double half-hitch knots you made and you really need to start over, all you need to do is pull out the anchor cord and you have a full row of double half-hitch knots untied. Definitely don't untie them one at a time if you don't have to, because that will take more time.
Congrats, you've learned my 5 expert tips on how to master the double half-hitch knot. I really hope you guys got a lot out of this video. Some of them you may already do in your double half-hitch knots. I definitely find that with every little adjustment you make after every knot or after every row, it definitely does come a long way. If you guys found this tutorial helpful in making the double half-hitch knot, make sure you share it with your friends eager to start macrame. And also give this video a big thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below if you guys want me to walk you through tips on making any other knots. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.